My boyfriend leaked my intimate photos and got me expelled while he became student body president. 6 years later, he became my boss and threatened me. Now he's facing criminal charges and I'm back in medical school. I need to start by saying I was that girl. The one who had everything figured out. Pre-med at a top university with a full scholarship. Parents who worked multiple jobs to give me every opportunity. I studied Friday nights while everyone else partied and felt good about it. Proud, even. Like I was building something that mattered. Then I met Marcus at a campus mixer I almost didn't attend. He was everything I wasn't supposed to want. Business major, who threw parties that shook the dorm building. Lacrosse captain with that easy, confident smile that made professors extend his deadlines. The kind of guy who could charm his way into or out of anything. Even my strict parents loved him. My mom, who'd never approved of a single friend I'd brought home, melted when Marcus spent an entire dinner discussing his 5-year business plan in exhaustive detail. He complimented her chai, asked my dad about his work, used respectful Hindi greetings he'd clearly practiced. After he left, my mom actually smiled at me. This one has a good head on his shoulders. We'd been dating 8 months when it started. He texted me one night while studying across campus. Missing you. Send me something to get through this boring chapter. The first photo was tame. Just a flirty angle, nothing I wouldn't post on Instagram with the right filter. His response was immediate and enthusiastic. That little rush of power was intoxicating. This guy that everyone wanted, who could have anyone, was obsessed with me. It became our thing. Morning photo before his 8 a.m. class. Evening one while I was in the library, grinding through biochemistry. He'd screenshot them to look at during boring lectures, he said. I loved being his secret distraction. Nobody knew the pre-med grind included sending increasingly bold photos to keep my boyfriend's attention, but it made me feel like I had this whole other side nobody else saw. The first red flag was subtle enough that I talked myself out of seeing it. He started taking hours to respond instead of seconds. His replies shrank from paragraphs to single emojis. Then just a thumbs up. Then nothing for entire days. When I asked if something was wrong, he said I was being clingy, that the daily photos were a bit much. He needed space for rush week. All the fraternities wanted him. I gave him space. Didn't text for 3 weeks. Threw myself into studying for my organic chemistry midterm. Then I saw it on Instagram. Marcus making out with a girl named Sophia at a party. His hand in her hair the same way he used to hold mine. She was blonde, effortless, wearing his lacrosse hoodie. The photo had 200 likes. Someone had tagged me in the comments. When I confronted him that night in his dorm room, he didn't even bother denying it. Just sat there on his bed and told me I was exhausting. That my neediness had driven him away. That we were basically over and I should have known. His roommate was there, headphones on, pretending not to listen. Through tears, I begged him to delete my photos. All of them. He looked offended, like I'd insulted his character. What kind of guy do you think I am? They're already gone. Jesus, Maya, I'm not a complete asshole. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He'd met my parents. He'd talked about our future. People like that don't lie about something so serious. The following Monday, I woke up to 47 missed calls. My roommate Sarah was shaking me awake at 6:30 in the morning. Her face was horrified, tears already streaming. She shoved her phone in my face, and I couldn't process what I was seeing at first. The university confession page. My photos. All of them. Posted with a caption that made my stomach drop. Remember that prude brown girl who acts all innocent? Not so innocent. Crazy ex wouldn't stop sending these even after I ended it. They'd been screenshotted. Shared across every group chat. Printed out and taped in the men's bathrooms across campus. Someone had made them into stickers. By 8 a.m., I was in the dean's office, still in my pajamas, because Sarah had dragged me straight there. By 8:30, my parents were calling. My mom switching between Hindi and English. Sobbing about family honor, about what the relatives would say, about how I'd brought shame on everyone. By noon, I was expelled. Violation of the university's digital conduct policy. Bringing disrepute to the institution. Creating and distributing inappropriate content. The words blurred together as the dean read them. I tried to explain that Marcus had posted them, that I hadn't distributed anything, but the dean cut me off. You created the content, Miss Patel. That constitutes the primary violation. Mr. Williams has received a formal warning for sharing, but you bear responsibility for the creation. Marcus got a warning. A warning. His father had donated the new business building. There was a plaque with their family name in the lobby. My parents drained their retirement accounts to repay the scholarship money. Then they cut me off completely. My dad couldn't look at me during that final conversation. My mom just kept crying, saying she couldn't face her sisters, couldn't go to temple, couldn't show her face anywhere. My extended family in India knew within days. Aunties who'd known me since I was born stopped accepting my friend requests. I went from pre-med to washing dishes at a restaurant near campus, then stocking shelves on the overnight shift at a grocery store. I had to live with 4 roommates in a moldy apartment where the bathroom ceiling was caving in, and we had to keep a bucket under the leak. Meanwhile, Marcus was elected to student government, posted on LinkedIn about learning from mistakes and growing through adversity, won the Outstanding Senior Award. His Instagram was full of inspirational quotes about resilience. I'd see my former study group sometimes at the restaurant. They'd sit in my section discussing organic chemistry, the class I should have been taking, and I'd refill their waters. Either they didn't recognize me or pretended not to. I couldn't decide which was worse. The worst part was the messages that never stopped. Random numbers sending my photos back to me months, then years later. Found these online. You're hot. Wanna meet up? From guys I'd never met. From guys who'd somehow gotten my number. Once from someone who worked at the grocery store, who cornered me during my break and asked if I did private sessions. Through mutual friends I couldn't quite unfriend without making it obvious, I watched Marcus graduate magna cum laude. He landed an incredible internship that led to a full-time position at a consulting firm. His LinkedIn was full of motivational posts about building character through adversity, about how setbacks make you stronger. Posts that got hundreds of likes from people who had no idea what he'd really done. 6 years passed like that. Him climbing ladders. Me climbing out of poverty, one 15-hour shift at a time, scraping together enough to pay rent and eat. Then last month my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Miss Patel? This is Jennifer Chun. I'm an investigator with Whitmore Consulting. I'm conducting a background check on Marcus Williams for a senior partner position. Your name came up as someone he may have significantly wronged during his university years. Would you be willing to speak with me? My hands started shaking. I sat down on my apartment floor. That night, Marcus emailed me for the first time since college. It was long, carefully worded. He talked about therapy, about growth, about his fiancée, who didn't know about his past. He hoped I could forgive him. He was up for senior partner at 28, the youngest in company history, and he really couldn't afford any complications right now. He suggested we meet for coffee to clear up any misunderstandings. I deleted it. Then I spent 3 hours on a video call with Jennifer Chin, showing her everything I'd saved. Every text message where Marcus bragged about the photos. Screenshots of him making jokes about ethnic girls who act innocent. Messages to his friends about teaching me a lesson for being clingy. 2 other women came forward with similar stories. Within a month, Marcus was being quietly managed out of his firm. His fiancée left after finding out why. He updated his LinkedIn to say he was exploring new opportunities. I screenshot it and added it to my folder. Then, yesterday morning, my manager at the restaurant pulled me aside. She was actually beaming. Maya, exciting news. We've got a new senior regional manager starting Monday. He'll be overseeing all locations in this area. He has extensive consulting experience and wants to transition to hospitality management. This is a huge get for us. My stomach dropped before she even said his name. Marcus Williams. He specifically requested this region. Said he has a personal connection to the area. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. Last night at 2 a.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number. See you Monday. We have so much to catch up on. I stared at that message until my vision blurred. Then I screenshot it and added it to the folder I'd kept for 6 years. The one labeled evidence. I called in sick for my Saturday shift. Instead of serving brunch to college kids who looked exactly like I used to look, I spent the morning at my kitchen table with my laptop, for cups of coffee going cold, and 6 years of documentation spread across every surface. My roommate stepped carefully around me, recognizing something in my face. The investigator's business card was still in my wallet. I dialed. Miss Chun, this is Maya Patel. We spoke last month about Marcus Williams. My voice was steady, professional. Nothing like the girl who'd cried in the dean's office. Maya, of course. How can I help you? Marcus just got hired as senior regional manager at the restaurant chain where I work. He sent me what I believe is a threatening text at 2 a.m. I have concerns about workplace safety. The silence on her end stretched for exactly 3 seconds. Forward me everything. I'll make some calls. I sent her the screenshot, then opened my laptop. The company's HR portal stared back at me. I'd never filed a complaint before. Never wanted to rock the boat at the one job that gave me steady hours and health insurance. But my fingers moved across the keyboard with purpose. By Saturday afternoon, I had 17 pages documenting everything. The revenge porn incident from college. The expulsion while he got a warning. The years of harassment from strangers who found my photos online. Jennifer Chen's investigation and findings. The 2 a.m. text. I attached every screenshot, every piece of evidence I'd saved like a paranoid person for 6 years. Sunday morning, my manager called. Maya, I need you to come in early tomorrow. HR wants to meet with you before your shift. The HR representative was a woman named Victoria who looked like she'd been pulled from her weekend. She had my complaint printed out, highlighted in 3 different colors. This is extensive, she said, flipping through pages. And concerning. We had no idea about Mr. Williams' history when we hired him. His consulting firm didn't share their investigation findings. What investigation? She looked up sharply. I pulled out my phone, showed her Jennifer's business card, forwarded her our entire email exchange. They contacted me last month. 2 other women came forward with similar experiences. That's why he's no longer with that firm. She excused herself. 20 minutes later, when she returned, her face was grim. We'll be conducting our own investigation immediately. In the meantime, we need to ensure a safe work environment for all employees. Monday morning arrived like a countdown clock hitting 0. I got to work an hour early, clocked in, stationed myself at the host stand where I'd have clear sight of the entrance. My coworkers sensed something was off but didn't ask. At 8:47 a.m., Marcus walked through the door. 6 years had added some gray to his temples, a designer suit to his wardrobe, but that smile was exactly the same. The one that had charmed my parents, my professors, everyone who should have protected me. He scanned the restaurant until his eyes found mine. I didn't run, didn't hide, just stood there in my polyester uniform with my chin up, meeting his gaze. His smile faltered for half a second before returning full force. My manager appeared from the back office, all nervous energy and forced enthusiasm. Mr. Williams, welcome to the team. Let me give you the tour. They made their way through the restaurant. I watched Marcus shake hands, make jokes, work his charm on people who'd become my chosen family over 6 years. People who'd covered my shifts when I couldn't afford groceries. Who'd celebrated my birthdays when my actual family wouldn't. When they reached the host stand, my manager's smile was strained. And this is Maya, one of our most reliable team members. She's been with us for 6 years. Marcus extended his hand. Maya and I actually know each other. From college. Small world, isn't it? I looked at his outstretched hand. Thought about all the times those hands had held me. Had promised to delete those photos. Had typed the messages that destroyed my life. My hands stayed at my sides. Actually, I said, voice carrying across the suddenly quiet restaurant, Marcus is the reason I couldn't finish my pre-med degree. The words hung in the air. My manager's face went white. Marcus's hand slowly lowered. I think we should continue the tour, my manager said quickly, already steering Marcus away. But I saw the way she looked at me, then at him. Pieces clicking into place. The rest of my shift passed in a blur. Marcus disappeared into the regional office upstairs. My coworkers kept shooting me glances, whispering in corners. The assistant manager pulled me aside during lunch rush. What did you mean about your degree? Ask HR, I said. They have all the documentation. By 2 p.m., I noticed corporate cars in the parking lot. By 3, Victoria was back with 2 other people in suits. They went straight to the regional office. The door stayed closed for 2 hours. My shift ended at 4, but I stayed. Wiping down tables that were already clean. Refilling salt shakers that didn't need refilling. Waiting. At 5:17 p.m., the office door opened. Marcus emerged first, his face a mask of controlled fury. No easy smile now. He walked straight past me without a word, out to his car. Through the window, I watched him sit in the driver's seat for 5 full minutes before peeling out of the parking lot. Victoria found me in the break room. We'll need to speak with you again tomorrow. More formally. Can you bring all your documentation? Of course. She paused at the door. That investigator from his previous firm? She sent over their full report an hour ago. It's comprehensive. That night, my phone buzzed with texts from coworkers. Word had spread fast. Some offered support. Others asked questions. A few shared their own stories about feeling uncomfortable around certain managers, about complaints that went nowhere, about choosing silence over risking their jobs. I thought about responding, then put my phone aside. Tomorrow would bring more meetings, more questions. But tonight, for the first time in 6 years, I felt something I'd almost forgotten.
Power.
Not the kind Marcus had wielded, built on family money and institutional protection. This was different. This was the power of truth, of documentation, of refusing to disappear quietly into the background of his success story. I pulled out my laptop and opened the folder marked Evidence. 6 years of screenshots, emails, messages. Proof that I'd survived. Proof that I'd endured. Proof that I was still here, still fighting. My roommate knocked. "You okay? Heard you had a rough day." "Actually," I said, surprising myself with a smile, "I think it was one of my better ones." Tuesday morning brought a call from Jennifer Chin. Marcus withdrew his defamation threat. His lawyer called mine. They want to settle quietly. Of course they do. The restaurant's investigation is moving forward regardless. I've sent them everything. And Maya? The 18-year-old server he tried to groom last week? She recorded him. The whole thing. She's pressing charges. My breath caught. Is she okay? She's braver than any of us expected. Your complaint gave her the courage to come forward. Wednesday, the restaurant held a mandatory staff meeting. The regional director announced new workplace conduct policies, anonymous reporting systems, mandatory background checks. My coworkers looked at me differently now, not with pity, with something like respect. Thursday, I drove to the university. The dean who'd expelled me had retired, but his replacement agreed to see me. Dr. Patricia Vance sat behind the same desk where I'd sobbed 6 years ago. "I've reviewed your file," she said. "The board is reconsidering certain past decisions. Specifically, expulsions related to the digital conduct policy between 2016 and 2018. My heart hammered. What does that mean? It means if you're interested, there may be a path to readmission. Your credits would still be valid. Financial aid would need to be renegotiated, but the door isn't closed." I couldn't speak. "Think about it," Patricia said. "No pressure. The offer stands regardless of any ongoing legal matters." Friday brought unexpected news. Marcus had been arrested. Multiple counts. The recording from the 18-year-old, combined with evidence from other women. His father's lawyers were scrambling, but bail was set high. I felt nothing.
No satisfaction. No vindication.
Just empty space where anger used to live. Saturday, I toured apartments near campus. Small studios I could actually afford now that I wasn't drowning. The landlord, an elderly woman who'd read the news coverage, offered me a discount. "I have granddaughters," she said simply. Sunday, I registered for classes. Organic chemistry refresher. Biology lab. Physics. The advisor warned it would be intense, catching up at 30 years old. I didn't care. Monday morning, walking to my first class in 6 years, I passed the restaurant. Through the window, I saw my old coworkers setting up for lunch rush. That life felt like a dream now. My phone buzzed. Jennifer forwarding a news update. Marcus's trial date was set. The university had officially revoked his degree. His LinkedIn showed no employment. I didn't click the link. I had chemistry in 20 minutes. Lab work after. A future to rebuild, one molecule at a time. The girl who'd cried in the dean's office was gone. So was the woman who'd served tables for 6 years, nursing rage and saving evidence. In their place stood someone new. 30 years old. Starting over. Unafraid. I tucked my phone away and walked into class. The professor was young, maybe 35. She smiled at the room of mostly 20-year-olds and the few non-traditional students scattered among them. "Welcome to organic chemistry. This class has a reputation for being impossible. It's not. It's just hard. And that's okay. Hard things are worth doing." I opened my notebook to a fresh page and started taking notes. Behind me, a girl whispered to her friend, "Is that the woman from the news? The one who took down that corporate guy?" "I think so. She's kind of a badass." I kept writing, fighting back a smile. By the end of the semester, I'd made the dean's list. Applied to work in a research lab. Started volunteering with an advocacy group for revenge porn victims. Marcus's trial lasted 3 weeks. 7 women testified. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty on multiple counts. 15 years. His father's money couldn't save him this time. I didn't attend the trial. Didn't need to watch. I was too busy studying for my MCATs. A year later, I got my acceptance letter to medical school. Not my original university, but a better program. Full scholarship. They'd read my application essay about resilience and second chances. My first day, I wore my mom's old stethoscope that I'd kept in a box for 6 years. She'd been a nurse before I was born, before she decided her daughter's shame was more important than her daughter's survival. I haven't spoken to my parents since. Maybe someday. Maybe not. Some bridges aren't worth rebuilding. But I built new ones. With Vita, the 18-year-old who recorded Marcus. We get coffee sometimes. She's in college now, studying criminal justice. With Jennifer Chen, who became a friend. With my old coworkers who supported me. And I built a bridge back to myself. The girl who wanted to be a doctor. Who studied on Friday nights. Who believed hard work mattered. She's still here. Just older. Wiser. Harder to break. Last week, I got a message from an unknown number. For a second, my stomach dropped. Then I opened it.
Imaya.
This is Sarah. Your old roommate from sophomore year. I saw you're in medical school. I always knew you'd make it. I'm sorry, I didn't do more back then. I didn't know how, but I'm proud of you now. I wrote back. Thanks. I'm proud of me too. And I meant it.
Alright, I'm out, but the next story is already on the way.